Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we are going to be live here as both teams have readied up. So watch this rollout. I'm going to be watching Misky Works here. Looks like a pretty good rollout onto Shutter. They don't get the arrow, but they are going to be first. So let's see how this plays
Yeah.
out. Going to see Scouts playing pretty aggro. Here comes the bomb from CD, or sorry, Xlor. Gets a great reflect from Zetas here. And now with both teams, actually, seems like maybe both teams could do it, but you can see Ice is just so aggressive here on the mid-fight, getting so much damage onto Otter, as well as CD getting the bomb from ramp, and that's going to be a clean push from Froggotech, taking the point right off the bat. However,
Yeah,
I will say... Go ahead, sorry.
Froggotech had like a lot of the space forward on that mid. Like they were across the point before anybody from Bannerhawks was, and I think like that's probably what made the big difference.
Absolutely. We see J-Puck here on ramp going to do a peek with no buff and dying to Solidity, who has that fully charged shot. Here comes the Uber exchange from Bannerhawks. It's going to be on Scout Demo here, but Scout gets kind of air blasted back. Demo gets pushed away. Medic is kind of caught out on fans and dies. Uber's fading now from Froggotech, and Bannerhawks isn't able to clean up at all. Bomb comes in from Exlor, can't get anything, and that's going to be another clean wipe and win from Froggotech.
Just a bit too little, too late.
We see players from Bannerhawks are kind of grouping up by the crates here. Otter tries to get a pick or something, gets a bit of damage, but Solidity just gets a great headshot, and that's Froggotech getting just another pick. And I think if you're on the side of Bannerhawks here, knowing that you're disad, you either have to go for the sack or just get some sort of great play from a pick class or something. But right now, it's been pretty dominant from Froggotech.
Looks like they're going for that.
Xlor gets the med really low, gets the drop there. Huge play from Xlor. I believe Lichten Spirits actually got a few kills there as well.
They're dropping a lot for it, but
absolutely.
So they can't immediately convert. They have their players back in spawn. I will say Solidity has been doing a lot of work this game so far.
For sure, they've just been controlling the entire point more or less. I think for Bannerhawks that you do probably want to take that trade at the end of the day, even if you have to take a second to regroup, just because of having that ad is so important, especially if you're struggling in this first half here, which it seems like they may be doing. But I'm curious how they want to take this point, with Froggotech having more or less all their players up now, and Bannerhawks maybe being a little slow on this push. We see picks coming out from Exlor and Chill. Chill is going to go down, though, to Ice. Bomb tries to come in from CD here. Gets good damage onto the medic, gets the medic really low, but doesn't quite get the kill. Familiar does go down, and Uber comes out here. That was good force from Froggotech, getting the Uber out, and that is going to be the point now for Bannerhawks, but not in vain, as they did have to use their Uber for that, of course. And Exlor now going down as well. Bannerhawks maybe going to try not to delay. We'll see what they do. Does look like they are going to delay their soldier, and maybe that's even more time bought for Froggotech now, as they're going to quickly regroup with big Uber ad.
I think Froggotech, perhaps emboldened by their early performance and their early success of their aggression, was just like, yeah, we're not giving this up to them, even if they have full ad. We can get something out of them and get something out of them. They did.
Absolutely. We see on Bannerhawks here, they have a quite good aggression that I really like on their enemy ramp here. With you can see Chill and and Xlor just getting so many picks and it just denying all that control. And now they have full control of lobby. Xlor does go down to Solidity, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. We see Chill still fighting in lobby, getting good damage, doesn't quite find the pyro yet, and is going to burn and die. Oh. And now that is the entire flank for Bannerhawks dead. And I believe we saw Chill go down as, Otter go down as well. Here comes the sack from Froggotech though, and the meta is going to drop. Huge play from Misky and CD, just getting both their rockets and their pipes in the exact right place. And that is a huge drop. And now with Bannerhawks being basically down their whole team, I think that's just pretty much a free point for Froggotech.
I'm seeing a lot of medics not anticipating sacks so far this game, like from both sides. Like medics are standing in super vulnerable positions when they have the kind of ad that makes the other team sack.
For sure. We see Bannerhawks actually going to be trying to drive this through Shutter with disad. See what kind of space I can get. As they're walking around the corner now, getting a lot of damage onto the combo, but they aren't going to find the medic as Jill is very passive. But still, Jacqueline getting 2 kills there. Goes down finally to Melvin, but I don't know how much it's in vain though, because it seems like Bannerhawks are going to be able to cap the point unless Froggotech can pull something out. But it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to, as they're down to just 4 players. Here comes the bomb in from the demo. Mistworks is going to find one. Tries to get the second on the end. He doesn't get it from Otter, but I believe that was Melvin cleaning up the kill. However, Melvin does go down, though. And now with Hedgehog going down as well, it seems like Bannerhawks are going to be a little more comfortable controlling the point.
Yeah, they did deny their demo and their NG, though, to avoid overtime.
Oh, great shot from Solidity there, getting the heavy, and that is going to be really key for getting space with just how much space Heavy is able to deny. And now the demo goes down as well.
Bannerhawks just doesn't have any space to deny this from.
For sure, they just lost like 3 or 4 people, and now they have an Uber, but they're down half their team, and you see that Uber isn't really getting anything. They I don't think they found a single kill except for the sentry, and especially now with Miss Raptor getting booped up, and that is just going to be a clean wipe from Froggotech. Most probably going to win the point here. Pogo tries to get a stab, doesn't get anything, and now Froggotech with full point control, full Urad, wipe the team, win the round.
I'm curious to see how Bannerhawks handles this next mid. I think like what you're gonna see, like in the ideal world for them, they would see that like aggression was what lost them the mid, lack of aggression, and correct that.
Absolutely. We see both demos are arriving around the same time now. Bomb comes over from CD, gets a good pick onto the sniper. Exlor's going down as well, though. And it seems like Froggotech getting a lot of kills, and seems like they're just cleaning up the point here. Bannerhawks elects not to take the fight and just get their medic out with the Uber, so they don't get too much disad. And that is a clean mid-fight for Froggotech, just using that aggression.
Absolutely. I just see Pogo causing a little bit of annoyance for the Froggotech NG on the back line.
Yeah, absolutely. As Spy, especially on Astral, you just want to be that thorn in the side that just pokes at people. We see Bannerhawks did have a bit of control ramp, but maybe are going to be playing a little more passive now, as Ubers are now up for both teams. It seems like Bannerhawks maybe just want to get a bit more space before they take the Uber, but they're delaying a bit of time here, also almost baiting their ramp players, as their ramp players are kind of taking the fight when their combo isn't. Here comes the drop down now. Uber is going to come in. Going to be a solo demo on Lifting Spirits. Uber comes in now from Froggotech, flashing on demo and a bit of pyro as well. Ubers are faded now from Bannerhawks, and post Ubers with Solidity going down, Solstice and Jackal also going down. X-Lord trying to find the pick onto Ice, gets a lot of damage, can't finish it off. It actually does finish it off. Jacqueline gets, I believe, a couple kills there, but Melvin actually with 2 kills now, getting some great picks on Miss Raptor. And with that, especially that huge pick on the medic, that's going to give them a big ad here. And I think that, you know, if you're Bannerhawks, you'd be starting to worry at this point.
Yeah, I saw that during their Uber, the medic, like in the post, the medic and demo baited through Shutter, and suddenly like 3 people on their side went down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're Bannerhawks, you need to be picking up these post-Ubers. We see J-Puck finding a nice pick on Solidity. That is going to be their ticket to trying to fight this, although they are going to have to do it with disad. We see the bomb in from Lifting Spirits, but that was a great job from Froggotech's medic, playing very passive on ramp, expecting the sack wave. We see Jacqueline starting to walk up here, getting a lot of damage, almost finds the demo, but isn't quite able to. Actually, demo does go down, though, from the mini, from the Otter. X-Lord does go on. Otter gets second kill with the mini, and I think that's actually... Look at this mini on the point here, just sitting completely still. Otter buffing it up. This is a great mini, and we see X-Lord trying to get a pick, doesn't get anything, though. And yeah, I will say, I think Bannerhawks, that was a good enough fight to take, because it looks like, unless Froggotech go very quickly, then Ubers are probably going to be even, but we'll see how quickly Froggotech's able to take this. With Bannerhawks now at 95%. Yeah, Froggotech's going to be waiting by the shutter a little bit. It's not enough. And now Bannerhawks with the Uber. Uber change comes in, keeping it on their pyro. Jacqueline does go down on the dispenser, though. And
this time it's
Bannerhawks
way better Uber.
Definitely. But look how separated Bannerhawks is on this post Uber.
Oh, yeah.
And they're having to play so passive now, especially losing their heavy, their soldier, their scout, losing so many of these, even their sniper as well, losing so many crucial players for post Uber. And I think that that's kind of what's killing them here. It's just their post Ubers have been really bad because of how many people they're losing.
Yeah.
Solidity get the pick from Shutter there. Demo for Froggotech is playing super aggro, has some nice stickies, and we'll see if they can do anything. But Bannerhawks, have to push this. Otherwise, I think it might be Jover.
Well, so it
AD
might.
going for a bomb here.
Especially with
Gets put down
Froggotech
on
with its
J-Puck.
light ad. Gets 2
Ooh.
picks, though.
Yeah, great picks from Bannerhawks here. Going to be the NG Soldier and Demo, or sorry, NG Soldier and Heavy. Scout going down as well. Bannerhawks
The
taking the point,
demo on
taking the
high
Uber exchange
ground.
here. Yeah, this is really interesting. This demo on the high ground. See if they can catch out the medic. Maybe
I
does
mean,
at
I
least
think the
catch out
demo
the
just
pyro.
surfed there, but
I mean, sure, but I think that staying up there is kind of the interesting thing, I guess.
absolutely.
But now Bannerhawks with Uber out here, although somewhat slight, maybe about 20%. We'll see how they want to hold this and if they can just lock it down successfully. Although it's about 2 minutes 15 seconds here. Do you think they can do it?
It remains to be seen. I think Froggotech's like had a very strong uptake on it, like certain situations. While they still don't have Uber, Froggo might be itching to get in and get on that like dry fight. It looks like that's what they're gonna do.
For sure. We see the space being taken from Froggotech's flank here, getting full control of ramp, and that is forcing Bannerhawk's combo to play so passive here and letting the enemy combo drop down, and as well for the sniper to peek through shutter a little bit. Sniper gets the pick onto J-Puck there, and Jacqueline also goes down to the mini sentry. Uber exchange comes out. Miss Raptor 99. Finally does get the Uber out. Uber's gonna be a little bit better, although they are having to flash a little bit on the side of Bannerhawks. Froggotech keeping their heavy in the crates for post Uber, getting so much damage onto the demo especially, and demo almost goes down. Here comes Ice walking around the corner, gets a lot of damage, gets huge picks, doesn't quite finish off the medic, but now I think it's only the medic that's able to hold other than the spy. Tries going for the stab, does get the sniper, doesn't get anything else though, and now just Otter alone, can't get anything. Maybe the mini sentry coming up gets a miracle, but of course not, as Froggotech wins the second round pretty cleanly.
Yeah. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I think I think it's more the passive positions of Bannerhawks are allowing Froggotech to take all of this space on their dry fights rather than the dry fights forcing them out of the forward space.
Absolutely. I think that, especially with that passive positioning, what they need to refine is knowing when they can play aggro and when they have to play passive, depending on whether or not they're at ad. Because what's happening a lot is that sometimes they're playing into these more aggressive spots with full Uber ad when they should be expecting a sack wave, and sometimes with disad they're putting their medic too far forward and then getting their medic caught out when the enemy uses into them.
And I don't even think aggression and denying space are is mutually exclusive with keeping the medic like with keeping the medic forward with keeping the medic out of the sack's range. I think like it's totally doable to have players cautiously forward and not letting anyone through these doors, but at the same time still letting the medic have like an escape route in case of emergency effectively.
Absolutely. We take a look at the logs here. We got a really good performance coming from both the demos, getting about the same amount of DPM and little over 460. Um, Otherwise, we see scouts also matching up pretty similarly. Ice is taking a bit of an advantage on heavy. Solidity also winning the SVS quite handily. I think Solidity's been one of the main difference makers here. Pogo not doing quite as well in Spy versus Spy, but I know Spy can sometimes be tough with DPM, and that's not always the full story, I guess. But I think it seems like Sniper Diff is being a big difference here,
I'm
and
wondering if it's
especially. Oh, go
also
ahead.
I'm wondering if there's also a role to be played by focus fire diff. I guess like I'm seeing similar DPM numbers from the scouts and similar DTM numbers from the scouts, but I'm seeing that Melvin is going 12 to 8 and Chill is going 7 to 11, and I'm wondering if that's not because of a difference in follow up on damage created by the demos who are also doing similar amounts of damage.
Yeah, for sure. I think that focus fire is something that a lot of teams will struggle with, especially like in the mid and lower divisions. Like until you get to like even like advanced, like people still struggle a lot with calling focus fires. And I think that that's something that can really kind of help boost you a little bit. But as you said, especially with the amount of kills that Froggotech are getting against Bannerhawks, I think that if you are Bannerhawks, what you need to do is focus on like just I mean, yeah, just making those focus fire calls and knowing when you need to position more passively or more aggressively, and knowing that, like, as well, like you said, that, you don't have to specifically have your medic exactly in one place when one situation is going on. Like you said, you can have players, like, cautiously aggressive, but I think that as well, just having your team know what the situations with Ubers are is very important as well, because otherwise then, even if you are playing cautiously aggressive, you might not know what the situation is and how your medic should be playing to that situation.
Right, exactly. One other thing I'm noticing is that the DTM numbers in general are like a big diff for certain players, like the soldiers and the heavies, uh, and the NGs for that matter. I'm seeing I'm seeing Froggotechs taking significantly less damage, and I wonder why that may be. I wonder if it's just kind of like they're not being focused enough, or maybe it's a difference in their level of aggression. I know that as the like player on the team more often in disadvantage, more often without the point, Luigi had to go in for sacks more, and I definitely saw like just them taking a lot of damage when being shut down in Z sacks, but I'm wondering if there isn't another kind of element to the, I guess, lack of focus fire showing up there as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think that especially with the lack of, focus fire, I think that's also affecting a lot of, post Ubers. Whereas you see, with Frogotech's Ubers, just when they were exchanging, they were often able to get, like, 3 or 4 kills, and I think that's because they're able to call those focus fires and knowing, like, who was too far and who was not supposed to be in the Uber, and they did a great job at recognizing that and then capitalizing off it by killing those players that aren't supposed to be in the Uber, and as a result, pretty much every time in post Uber, Bannerhawks were down, like, 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, absolutely. And like just on that note, Asheville mid is a wide point. Like you're not gonna see a lot of success when you spread your team out to take all of that space, but then like don't have, I guess, the right level of like being forward to make up for that fact. Like in Frogotech's Ubers, I saw like most of them were behind cover, but like on ramp in a place where they could easily regress. Whereas in Bannerhawk's Ubers, they were kind of just chilling across the point, and some were more forward than others. I guess just I think a lack of coordination might have caused that, and being more in tune with where each other are, being more aware of where each other are, would probably help them be more successful on those post Ubers.
For sure. I think that, in terms of that coordination, like, what do you think, are, like, some of the calls that, like, demo needs to make? I mean, at least for me, I would say, like, calling, specifically where Ubers are ending and calling who you want to be in on those Ubers, but, do you think there's anything else that are super important to call?
Not so much from the demo side, other than what you said. I guess it's more on the other people to be aware of what that means, because the demo can't. I mean, some demos can, but like I would not expect a demo in IM to be able to micromanage where every single person on their team should be during that Uber, when they're
For sure.
also calling who should be taking damage during the Uber, where the Ubered players should be going. It's also a question of like where should the players not in the Uber be during the Uber? Like they should know that if the Uber is going on, they should be backing up. They should know what position they should be backing up, and they should be basically ready to count the seconds until the Uber is over and come back in at the right time.
Absolutely. By the way, for anyone just tuning in, we are currently waiting for the second half to get underway. It is 2-0 to the side of Froggotech. I believe Bannerhawks are just sorting out, lag issues with player. That should be fixed shortly, though, and we'll get underway. But, thanks for tuning in, Smiley Face. Um, Otherwise, I was gonna say, for mid fights as well, what do you think needs to be adjusted on the side of Bannerhawks?
I think the second mid fight was definitely better for Bannerhawks. They kind of just lost that because of uh, a DM or like focus fire diff, whereas in the first one they were solidly losing the aggression fight. I think keeping up the aggression that they saw in the second one, but having like better focus fire would be enough to like get them the edge in that mid.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just better aggression and better focus fire, I think, are kind of the main 2 points of note, at least in my opinion. I didn't see anyone that was particularly going the wrong way or anything like that on rollouts, but, I don't know, we'll see how it looks as we are getting underway for the start of the second half. It is 2-0 to Froggotech, and let's watch, Lifting Spirits on this rollout. Oh, they missed the arrow, and that is going to be, I think Misty Works actually also didn't get their arrow, and we see Lifting Spirits playing pretty passive. Like, look at the side of Bannerhawks here. They're all kiting towards ramp, which I really don't like from their side. And you see that Solidity getting a pick.
They're so
CD is going to go
passive.
down, but
They're so
like,
passive. Whoa.
yeah, they're so passive here. They just kite through ramp every time, which is just really bad for the side of Bannerhawks. They're just getting so much space to Froggotech. I understand maybe not wanting to risk getting your medic killed, but I think they just have to commit, because what's happening is they're playing so passive there on that mid instead of walking forward. They just need to stop fearing. I think that especially on sniper mid, or sorry, on Astral mids, you're going to peek the sniper. That's just unavoidable. Actually, speaking of peeking sniper, we see J-Puck take the SVS and win in Shutter. Solidity going down there, getting a little too aggro. CD is able to avenge him though, as Misty Works and Explore and Lifting Spirits and Loyal Familiar all go down to the sack, but they do get the force off. That was good sack overall, and now we see Bannerhawks just chilling with full ad in their spawn, and I'm curious how they want to take this Uber now that they have full ad.
That was interesting. Kind of like a chain sack, like one after the other going in, just like doing death by 1,000 cuts.
I guess so. I mean, if coordination maybe left a little bit to be desired, but if it works, it works. And we see now the Uber exchange coming in here. It looks like a mostly solo scout, but look how separated these players in the Uber are. The scout walks all the way through Shutter and gets picked off. We see Lifting Spirits ending the Uber on the roof again. And Bannerhawks is going to take the point, but they aren't able to kill the medic. Froggotech doing a great job of realizing that they're at disad and knowing to get their medic out. And here comes a huge pick from Solidity onto Miss Raptor. And now I think this refight from Froggotech is just completely wiping. That was great from Froggotech, just knowing what the situation was and being able to kite their medic out and just reaggress through Shutter once the Uber fades. Just, again, that post-Uber fight is so powerful, and they really showed it there.
Yeah, no, sitting on full Uber ad with half the timer in their favor worn down, I think they're very happy here. We're gonna probably see a sack coming out.
For sure, I think that if you're Bannerhawks, that's all you really can do. Uber actually does get forced. I'm not sure. It seems like they want to use into the medic.
Yeah.
The Miss Raptor is going to get to about 50 health, but I don't think they're going to finish the job here as Miss Raptor gets out to spawn. That it's going to be pretty much a wipe with Misty Works getting 3 or 4 kills there.
Definitely looks like more of an ego play than anything, but
maybe a little bit, but that is at the very least going to buy them a bit of time. We see Melvin now on enemy bats getting picked onto Jacqueline, and Bannerhawks are kind of crumbling a little bit in this first round of the second half.
Well, no, I think basically Froggotech just did Bannerhawk sack for them right there.
Maybe a little bit, but like I said, I think it at least buys a little bit of time for them, their credit. We see Solidity getting picked off, so I think that if you're Bannerhawks, that's the pick you need to go in. Exilord going to get picked off as well, though. Chill gets picked off as well, going down to the mini sentry, and CD helping out as well. And here, seems like they want to take the Uber from Bannerhawks here. Drop down, solo demo, getting on the roof yet again. Uber comes out now from Jill, with the Ubers being even. See Familiar getting in the Uber to try to airblast them back, help the post Uber a little bit. CD bombs in for the post Uber, gets J-Puck, and now huge play from Miski getting a double pipe. And Exilord trying to get in on the post Uber, doesn't get anything. Pogo gets stabbed, Chill gets picked off, Exilord gets one more kill, but now Exilord and Lifting Spirits going down, and just wipe after wipe. Froggotech are going to be winning this point and this round. Full 3 minutes on the clock. Never gave up a point in that entire round.
Yeah, they waited so long for that Uber. Like it was already even by the time that they ended up using it again.
Yeah, for sure. I think that if you're Bannerhawks, you just kind of, again, need to be a little bit more conscious of those like Uber situations, how you should be playing around them. We see, again, Bannerhawks fairly passive on this Uber. Miss Raptor does take a rocket, doesn't get picked off all the way, though. And see if... actually, Miss Raptor does get sniped by Solidity, getting 2 kills there. J-Puck getting a couple kills as well. 3 kills, actually, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. teams are about even here. Let's see if Bannerhawks maybe wants to take this fight in again. But Froggotech do have all their players grouped up, especially Froggotech having their combo players as well, where with Bannerhawks mostly just pick classes. Tries to get the stab in from Pogo, doesn't get it though, as Ice will pick him off. And now Bannerhawks with big dis out here aren't going to be able to retake the point. Probably going to have to go for the sack wave yet again on this mid fight.
I saw a lot of good aggression on that mid from Chill and Exilor, and I'm just wondering where the rest of their team was to back it up.
Yeah, I think that Bannerhawk's combo in particular is just playing so passive on these mids, and I think that's really being a detriment. Jacqueline getting picked off of from Melvin there on just jumping off a roof. See Sack coming in now, little bit out of sync. Pyro does get the force off though. Great bomb from Loyal Familiar.
If it works, it works.
I mean, yeah, if it works, it works. Interesting to say the least, but I mean, I think you know, doing those like 9-man sacks and having the, or 9-man sacks, but 7-man sacks I should say, and having the pyro bomb over roof is definitely good. I really like that they're at least committing like fully to these sacks, not doing like kind of half-ass sacks. They just need to be a little better coordinated with it.
I see so many like IM teams send in a soldier and maybe a demo, and
yeah, for sure. If you want, here comes the Uber actually. They're using onto no one though. Look at this Uber. This is really bad. I don't know what the point of this Uber was. They didn't rush into anyone. They didn't have any target. Here comes the post Uber now. Bomb in from CD, gets a great pick, and gets damage onto Jacqueline as well as Miss Raptor and Chill going down. And I don't know if Bannerhawks can even cap the point here. They don't want to delay their medic. They're finally going to get on point now to stop the delay. But, I mean, they're still, I guess they got enough picks, but they're big disad now. And
yeah.
I don't know what, you know, how well they can hold this. The medic's just now getting up, but like I said, big disad. I think Froggotech just needs to go for a quick use in. Go ahead, sorry.
They've been having a lot of like early uses so far, like right through Shutter, and I think this shows off like this is a lesson for why not to do that. Like they just used onto nobody at all.
There's a great deny from Familiar there, making the Uber more or less worthless, but I think Bannerhawk's still losing like 2 or 3 players. I don't know if they're going to be able to refight this, or if they do want to refight it, they at least need to get to Shutter. But we see Froggotech being so aggro on the Shutter, Solstice getting in, doesn't get a pick, but actually we see Misky Works getting very aggro there as well, doesn't get a pick either, and now Bannerhawks kind of caught in their own side of lobby, aren't able to get anything else, and just need to fully group. They do know they have Uberad, but they got to take it right away if they want it to be successful. See Solidity just watching onto the bats. Melvin trying to maybe get a pick or something. Bannerhawks are going to have Uber now, but just sitting on it still. They do finally take it in. They take the jump through. Great job from Jill there playing passively and just getting out. Great bomb from Explore though. Maybe gets the pick. Doesn't quite get it though. And now we see Ice on this post Uber getting so much damage off onto all these players.
Yeah, this is so weird. I have like 3 people walking forward and 3 people kiting back from Bannerhawk's side.
For sure. I think that, again, that maybe that's just the coordination about who should be in the Uber. Bomb comes in, and actually great pick from CB there onto Miss Raptor. Bannerhawks have had a really tough time denying CD bombing on onto the medic. And I think part of that is just great timing from CD, knowing when to jump in. But as well, I think Bannerhawks got to be doing a better job denying. And that is 10 seconds left on the round. Bannerhawks, this is their time to do it. They have to go. See X-Lord jumping in first. Bannerhawks, rest of them are a little delayed. Ice being on the crate here, denying so much space. It will be enough, though, as actually a lot of picks coming in from Bannerhawks.
Yeah,
maybe
kills behind creating chaos?
I mean, it seems like, you know, now that they're walking in, I guess it's not going to work out, but honestly, that was one of their closer pushes, if anything, because they just fully committed to it. But that is going to be 4-0 in favor of Froggotech winning the match.
Yeah. That was definitely cements Froggotech is the probably like a team, at least definitely the team with the best record so far in IM, and they're probably like the favorites then for the division this season. It'll remain to be seen whether I think this is now this is week 6. They have 9-0'd every single week, including this one.
Yeah, that's so impressive. I mean, it's one thing to just go like 7-0 and just win all your matches, but to, you know, if they're able to do that while going 9-0 in every match, that's a whole other thing. I know teams that have been like very successful, but it's often by very slim margins where they will be winning each match. Like, and it's just each match will be very close. But I mean, if you're just looking this dominant, like, I mean, it just shows like how well they're practicing and how well they're, how well they have knowledge of the game. Especially, I think you saw Jill there was so great at playing into Uber situations, knowing when to be passive and when to be aggressive. And I think that as well, like that was a big part of it, but as well, just like great plays all around from Froggotech, knowing the exact situations for Ubers and when to capitalize off of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there was a lot of a lot of players on Bannerhawks had the right idea. I think it's their work is kind of cut out for them. Especially because it's looking like Bannerhawks is also likely going to be in playoffs. And so I guess the work is kind of cut out for them. If they want to win this division, then um, they have to put in the work to basically coordinate their team, get everybody on the same page for these fights. I think Asheville, in terms of the Koth maps, Asheville is definitely can be the mental killer in terms of coordination, and so it's a tough match to fight against a team that's as coordinated as Froggotech.
For sure. I think especially Asheville is one of those maps that it can be really hard to do proper med protection, and a lot of teams will really struggle with that. I will say on the last half as well, Melvin with 450 DPM on Scout. I think that was mostly from just playing on that roof and just getting aggression out to bats when they could. That was so powerful, and it was really just getting so much space for their team and delaying Bannerhawk so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I noticed the flank Bannerhawks' flank was doing a lot of work. Like they were definitely pulling their weight in that match. I think the combo was showing that they could do well when needed to. They could do well in the just I guess it's just the consistency that they really need to drive home.
For
Because
sure.
that last fight, it was going well until they lost several players like they did in many other fights. They got a lot of picks from Froggotech for that. They made it expensive for Froggotech, so
Yeah, I think they definitely put up a good fight, particularly I think in the first half as well. Like it was very even. Um, we saw that I think both rounds Bannerhawks got the clock down to about a minute, so I think it was definitely doable. But just things to fix up for Bannerhawks. Um, but at least knowing that I think they're almost certainly going to make playoffs this season if they're not confirmed in already, so they don't need to worry too much about that. Otherwise, I think just if you are on Bannerhawks, just keep looking forward, move on, know that this could be a map to work on for playoffs. And if you're on the side of Froggotech, I think you just know that okay, we've kind of cemented ourselves as the top team, but we got to keep working, just keep grinding, and keep trying to see success however we can. Keep doing what we're doing.
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's kind of interesting because except for Froggotech, the other three teams, in the top four, kind of go even with each other because Bannerhawks lost to Leak Gamer Squad, Leak Gamer Squad lost to Ego, Bannerhawks beat Ego. It's kind of like a circle. So I'm curious to see how they do with that.
For sure. Um, otherwise, last things, just FYI for everybody, we will have sixes in sixes cast in about 15 minutes. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Otherwise, I think we're gonna tune out here for Highlander. Vorb, do you have any last shout outs? Anything you wanna say?
Shout out to all the viewers for watching, for um, just tuning in for IM. IM doesn't ordinarily get a lot of attention, so it's nice to see like people watching for uh like games in this division, especially because I feel like a lot of the divs that get attention are either the top divs or the bottom divs, like newcomer, because people want to see like newcomer players kind of grow and get attention. And I think uh share the love.
Absolutely. I think Yeah, I guess for my last shout outs, I just want to shout out like all of IM first of all. Just IM I know has been through some struggles this season, but for the teams that have still kind of stuck around, they've been doing a great job just staying consistent with it and adapting to like the various format changes and what have you, and adapting to reschedules and bye weeks and all that jazz. It's been a lot, but I think the teams that are in IM are all just very strong for dealing with that and going through it. Otherwise, I just want to give a shout out to Vorb here for his first cast on Fireside, I believe, and I think he did a wonderful job. It's so great having you. So
Thank you.
give some love to Vorb in the chat. Put some hearts in. Of course, I also want to thank Jay for being on production. I know Jay doesn't really do Highlander too much, but I think you're doing a wonderful job getting the gist of things a lot more. And it's always great to be here. Other than that, I think we're just about good. We'll be out for 10 minutes, and then we'll have sixes at around 10:30. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise,
Awesome.
thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh, do you have one last thing?
Yeah, thanks y'all for having me.
Heck yeah. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your night.